which I find interesting, and I don't know quite why. There is a fear, and there is and I think sometimes Australia, for some reason, is a fearful country. People don't particularly like change, and that doesn't help.
The fear of what? Is it the perception that maybe because you're doing it at home in your own studio that it's not professional?
I think it's probably more, we're doing it from here, therefore you're taking work away from me, which I kind of understand, because in the old days you'd have to go into a studio. So if someone wanted to do an ISDN from Sydney to Melbourne, the client was in Sydney and the studio was in Melbourne, I would go to the studio in Melbourne, who would then do an ISDN link to a studio in Sydney, so the client could be on the session,
Yeah.
So there's two studios getting money out of this. Now, of course, if you've got a studio like this, then I just beam into wherever. And in some cases, like a lot of my clients, I don't even talk to them. In fact, some I've never even talked to. I just get copy and, everyone's happy with the way I'm doing it, and that's it. It just comes in.
Are you still getting work through an agent?
Yeah, I've got an agent in Sydney, which is Scout Voice Management, and then I'm not signed to an agent in the US, but Abrams in New York send me things from time to time. A lot of my clients that are overseas, I look after myself, and that's Channel News Asia out of Singapore. So I'm their network voice, and a radio station in Dubai called Dubai Eye. I do, and then local radio stations or networks, the Triple M network here for their regional stations, and there's 32 of those. I'm the brand voice of that. And then whatever else comes in, corporate narration stuff, whatever, all sorts of things, events, you name it. I'll take it. I'll do it.
Yeah, right. Is there something that you don't want to take or you turn down? And I say this only because maybe it's not fun, or it's, and fun meaning it's a lot of work or unnecessary hassle. Does that happen to you?
Yes, there are things that I feel that I wouldn't do. And, but it's difficult because you kind of go, well, where do you draw the line? Do I say, I don't want to do McDonald's because I think their food is bad for people? Or do I say I don't want to do a read for a fuel company? I mean, where do you, or palm oil company? I mean, where do you draw that? This is the trouble. Where do you draw the line? I think you've just got to, on the day when it comes in, if you feel strongly enough that something is wrong, inherently wrong, then don't do it. But I'm sure there's plenty of people that were doing politicals in the US that were reading stuff that they didn't feel comfortable doing, but they did it anyway.